So the other day I was up here messing with the wing, trying to get some stuff ready for some videos that we're gonna shoot. And I came across this effect that I've never seen in here before. I guess I just haven't dug in far enough to find it, but it's for acoustic guitars, and it's basically an acoustic guitar pedal by TC Electronics that's just built into the mixer as an effect. And so I threw it on my acoustic guitar from a recording from this past Sunday. And I was wondering why I've never heard of it until now, because it is pretty awesome. So let me show it to you. So you can see all of our effect slots are about full. Now we only have 2 left, but on this blank one here, I was messing around looking through the effects, and on standard effects, I found this one called BODYREZ, and I didn't really dig into it beyond that. I was kind of like throwing stuff on just to kind of see what everything looked like, what everything did. And so I threw that one on, and I saw that it said Acoustic Guitar Pickup Enhancer, and I said, So I went and I threw it on the acoustic guitar in that effect slot there. And really the only control you have is how much of it you want to add in. And what this is basically doing is it's taking out harsh overtones in the acoustic guitar, those really honky sounding frequencies, and it's bringing in fullness to the pleasant mid frequencies. So it's just making it sound beefier, even without, you know, making it muddy up the sound system, because I still have a low cut on there. Right now it's set to around 140. I still don't want frequencies coming through the subwoofer because we have other instruments handling those frequencies. But the mid frequencies, we're still sounding a little thin and honky, even with some good EQing on it. And I tried this on my guitar and our other acoustic guitarist. I have a Taylor 214 CE with an LR Baggs Anthem upgraded inside of it. And he has a Martin 00 or 0018. I can't remember which one. I think it's the 0018. And I can't remember what pickup he has in it, but it's like a transducer pickup. So this is his EQ. Got some pretty interesting stuff going on in the low end here. But his pickup actually sounds really good. It's got some really nice body to it already. But we had to carve out some stuff that was causing feedback and some muddiness in his pickup. But then the BODYREZ, it really just beefs up those mids, like I said. There really wasn't much overtone going on, but it took it out anyway, and it's pretty impressive. The strength of mine is the clarity, and you'll notice I had a lot of the microphone on my pickup dialed in this past week, probably a little bit more than I should have, so you're gonna hear some cymbals in there and some stage noise going on. But even with all that, it still does a really good job of just carving out those annoying tones and beefing up the mids. Let me just go ahead and show you some samples of each. So I'll do my guitar first, the Taylor with the LR Baggs, and then I'll do his, the Martin with the, I don't know what pickup he has in it, I'll ask him and then I'll put it up on the screen. So let me know what you thought of that. I think it sounds really good with that BODYREZ put on it. Obviously that's a pedal that you can buy. I looked it up and I think it was like 80 bucks on Sweetwater, so a pretty affordable pedal. If you don't have the available effect slots to add that on, then maybe getting the pedal is something you might consider doing for your acoustic guitarist. I like how plug and play it is. You're just kind of dialing in how much of it you want to use. I think when you dialed it up to 100%, that was a little too much. It made it sound a little too, focus isn't the right word, but I just didn't like the way it was sounding. 50% sounded pretty good to me. Got rid of those overtones, beefed up the mids, just wasn't overkill. But highly recommend if you have a wing that you throw that on your acoustic guitar, try it out. I bet it will improve it. Do make sure that you have good EQ going on. I'll leave our acoustic guitar EQ cheat sheet in the description if you want to check that out. That'll help give you some starting points if you're not already using some EQ on your acoustic, or maybe help you try something different. The thing about acoustic guitars is every pickup is going to sound completely different. They never sound like the guitar actually does in person. Obviously, the nicer the pickup, the better it's going to sound, the better starting point you have, but still going to need some EQ and all of that. So editing this video, I realized something I wanted to add, because I realized some of you guys are going to be wondering, where in the signal chain is this supposed to be exactly? And I was kind of wondering the same thing, because you saw just now that I had it at the end of the signal chain, because that's usually where your extra effect slot is, and so I just threw it on there for the purpose of testing it out. But I went ahead and I went back up to the church, and then I tried moving it to the beginning of the signal chain, because I read some forums of people using the pedal version of it, and they say a lot of times that they like to have it at the beginning of the signal chain and then do their EQ shaping after the BODYREZ. And so I tried that, and it really didn't make much of a difference. I even tried adding it before and then doing some changes, like doing the EQ from scratch basically. I got to pretty much the same result, and flipping it back and forth between the beginning and the end, it was a very, very, very slight difference, and I kind of preferred having it at the end of the signal chain to my ear. So basically, like we're already doing EQ and compression, and then the BODYREZ is just kind of like a final mastering of the sound, just, you know, kind of doing some little things to make it just a little bit better. And if you're curious what exactly the BODYREZ pedal is doing, it's adding some predetermined EQ filters, and it's adding a little bit of compression, and then it's also doing something in there to help with feedback rejection. So anyway, let me know what you thought of how this plugin sounded. Let me know if you're gonna try it out, and when you do try it out, come back and let me know how it went. I'm actually really impressed and sad that I didn't know that this was there before, and I kind of want to try out the pedal version of this at some time. So hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for staying till the end. I'll see you next time.